Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is MacNN's One More Thing me, William Gallagher. Hello. And also Malcolm O. Malcolm, hi.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
And good night. Everybody in the UK is just thinking about David Frost there, aren't we? I wonder if he travels more. Of course, he's known for the Nixon interviews. Not
weirdly, I don't know him from that.
That's bizarre. Oh, you should watch them. Riveting.
I know him from Frost on Sunday, which is basically me waking up in the morning, going downstairs, turning on the TV, seeing David Frost speaking to some person I had no interest in listening to, and going, nothing on TV. Damn it.
Anyway, this week, I think we need to do none of this stuff on the side, none of this rabbit hole stuff we tend to go on, because we got news-ish. We got business, sort of. We have action, kind of. Sort of. We have a lot to go on, and also, I think we also have some blame. Because remember, previously on One More Thing, just last week, I asked you, what is this OLED thing I've been hearing a little bit about that Apple is definitely, probably, possibly, maybe, going to put on the next iPhone. This week, OLED is everywhere, isn't it? What's gone on? Did people hear us and think it was great?
There's been a rumour for a while now that there would be some sort of OLED addition to the MacBook Pro.
Like the screen will be OLED. I don't get the advantage.
No. Instead of being what you would think would be the display, because that would be obvious, wouldn't it? Yes, right?
That's just what they're expecting us to do.
But there's an image that's circulating which seems to correlate with these rumours of the keyboard section of a MacBook Pro that is under production, or whatever you want to call it. Wonderful leak images usually come up with these parts for some reason. But if you look at the keyboard, you'll notice that there are only 5 rows of keys. The 6th row at the top, which is what this is the one above the number keys, by the way, is the one you usually have for the F keys, the function keys. But that's not there anymore. The top row of actual keys would be the number keys now, and above that is this strip of metal with a gap on one end and a bigger gap on the other end. And people are saying, oh, this is proof there's going to be an OLED touch panel above the keyboard.
But there's one thing I don't know. Well, there are so many things I don't understand, Inspector. That top row of keys, I just looked down at my keyboard, and yeah, it has the function keys and all the nice iTunes media controllers, but it has eject for the DVD. Have I still got a DVD somewhere? Things you find out. But also escape. These are things that we want, surely, apart from the DVD bit. Well, how can they muck around like this?
Well, I don't know, it's just a rumour. But apparently it's intended that this strip at the top, because not many people press the buttons up there that often, or at least they're not pressed as often as the other keys there, the buttons there are therefore potentially disposable or can be repurposed. So if they had an OLED strip there, they could easily have spaces there for you to touch the keys in the right places to be able to bring up everything like changing the brightness, volume, media, and all that stuff. But because it's an OLED panel, you could, in theory, change the keys to show other things, maybe a notification from your phone, so that you don't have to look at what's appearing in an application. You can instead not leave the application and just look down and see, ooh, I've got a text from Janice or whatever. Or it could be a context-sensitive row of keys.
Tell me about Janice.
Janice, I believe it's Janice from accounting, and she doesn't give something that I'm not allowed to say in this podcast.
Okay. Expense claims? I don't know. All of that sounds like it's possible, except I would probably never notice a notification on my keyboard because I'm a touch typist. I don't look down that often. But, I don't suppose Apple makes things just for me. Is that something that would work for you?
I'm not entirely sold. I do use the function keys for brightness and volume, and really that's about it. I don't use any of them during actual applications. So it could be disposable. It could easily be replaced by a touch panel, but I would lose that tactile feedback that I get of definitely pressing a button.
Unless it was a haptic OLED. Let's just list technologies in a row here. It could give you some kind of Force Touch-like feedback or Apple Watch-like feedback.
The weird thing is, gaming peripheral manufacturer Razer, one of their extremely high-end and stupidly expensive keyboards, if you look at where the numpad is, you have on the bottom half a trackpad, and on the top half a row of 10 buttons. And they are all displays, actually, mini displays. So the top row of buttons all light up and have different icons, and you could change the icons and change the application that runs with these icons or change the macro or whatever. And the touchpad is also a display in its own right. So you can see things like menus for music and other application items there that could be useful that you don't have to do on the screen. You could do on the keyboard instead. But it also can be used as a touchpad. Now, if I didn't see this keyboard, I would have potentially thought maybe they could replace the touchpad with a screen, a touch screen, and do something like that. But here it looks like it might be with a normal touchpad and that strip above the keys. It's a bit weird, but then again, it is a rumour. And it is a air quote leaked image, so nothing's guaranteed.
I actually keep forgetting, don't we, that we're in the area, the penumbra really around WWDC when magically part photographs a bit, which I could understand, that incredible supply chain. Didn't somebody calculate that all the bits in your iPhone have together travelled about 500,000 miles to get there because of all this worldwide construction and stuff? So I can understand that somewhere in that somebody gets it. It's the fact that the photographs are always just slightly blurry. They're like Bigfoot or the Yeti or the Loch Ness Monster. You can't quite see them, kind of thing. That bothers me. But otherwise, rumours, no, they're facts. Yeah, clearly. No, okay. We don't have long to find out now. Hang on, when is WWDC?
Oh, crikey, I can't remember. Hang on.
Hey Siri, when is WWDC?
WWDC is taking place on June 13th to June 17th in San Francisco.
That's actually exactly what it said, but I did it on my watch, so it just came up on the screen. So, Malcolm, you're unmasked, a friend of Janice in accounting, and now also the voice of Siri in the UK.
No.
Okay. Let's move away then from rumour to fact. I like doing this. Angela, my wife, Angela Gallagher, would really like to watch The Man in the High Castle. But she can't, because that's on Amazon Prime. We don't have Amazon Prime here. She's not convinced that buying Prime for that show alone is sensible or that she's that interested in it. But even if she did, it would be a royal pain because we have Apple TV. We would have to find a way to get that Amazon Prime thing maybe on our iPads and stream from the iPads. Yeah, because you can't get Amazon Prime on Apple TV. And this is because of Amazon, really. I can never pronounce his surname, but I think it's Jeff Bezos. Yeah, I said this week that, broadly speaking, it could happen, but not until, quotes, acceptable business terms have been agreed, which has got to mean they don't want to pay Apple 30% of anything. Now, Malcolm, do you remember a time when television was just, well, television, and you could watch it when you could tune it with things we've lost?
You mean where everything was in just one place and you knew where to get it?
Exactly. I sound so old.
And then over a period of time, satellite TV and cable providers came in and offered TV through there rather than over the air, and things got really confusing. And then people started making their own channels on the internet through YouTube, and then the broadcasters decided to make their own channels through their own apps that they provide to people, and people can subscribe to them. Oh, yes. Yes, I remember those.
Yeah. All of that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Aren't we at a stage then where it's actually slightly frustrating? I've spent the money on an Apple TV. I really like it. I don't want to spend more money on it, but I'm going to have to cherry pick what I want. And I can well see that I might be drawn by one TV show. Actually, I was for Netflix, wasn't I? It was Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt that drew me into that. Will The Man in the High Castle drag Angela? Will we be a split Netflix and Amazon Prime household? Does any
I
of this
don't know,
matter?
actually. This is the thing. If you want to watch The Man in the High Castle and many of the other things that Amazon Prime Instant Video offers, then you're not going to be able to watch it on an Apple TV. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, I've just realised I don't know. Oh, I do know one. Amazon also does Outlander in the UK. Anyway, this is confusing as well. We've got regional differences too. Okay.
Business terms, it's brilliant. But yeah, actually, relating to that, you can't actually get the Apple TV or Chromecast through Amazon's retail sites at all. Since October last year, Jeff Bezos or Lex Luthor or however you want to call him, he's basically said, we don't want to sell any device that doesn't offer Amazon Instant Video, which is the non-subscription version of Prime Instant Video, or Prime Instant Video itself. It only wants to sell video players that actually offer those services because business. And recently it's come to pass that Bezos has said it's all come down to, quote, acceptable business terms.
I'm hearing that an awful lot these days. Okay, I guess it makes sense. Part of me likes this in a way. I mean, I was drawn to Netflix by one particular show. Actually, it's comedy. I regard it as drama, but it is comedy. And Man in the High Castle is out and out drama. As a dramatist, I love that we are being drawn to these things. Drama's such an expensive thing to do, but it's being invested in so heavily at the moment. It's a great time for television if you can see the stuff.
Well, the thing is, with these devices not being able to play them on there, do you not have other devices that can play video from Amazon's video services? I mean, I have a wealth of devices that can. For example, game consoles or other streaming media devices. Do you not have any of those?
You mean if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, can you watch stuff without, I don't know, buying whatever Amazon sells? Yeah, presumably I could stream it through my Mac and onto my TV set and things. For me, it's the subscription I don't have.
You don't have Amazon Prime?
No, I do not.
How?
By not paying for it.
Do you not buy that many things from Amazon?
Actually, not so much, no.
Wow.
Try that every now and again. On the run-up to Christmas, when you try the free version of it, that's very handy. But even then, it didn't work out especially useful. So not enough to be tempted into it full
So
time.
the massive amount of Kindle lending library books isn't much for you either?
No.
If you have a Kindle?
I prefer iBooks to Kindle. I have Kindle on iPad, but I think Kindle's very ugly. The font, the typography of it. I read books on there a lot, but only when they're not available in other sources. I'm hearing a rabbit hole here. Can we put it back to something else that's new and actually related? Because you mentioned devices. We mentioned television quite a lot. What would be a better television device than a TV set? I'd like to introduce a new feature to One More Thing, the Comprehensive Buyer's Guide. And it's going to be for television sets. And it will run like this. Are you ready? You should take notes, because this is going to be so detailed here. Don't ever buy a Samsung TV set.
Whoa, hang on. Why?
The TV set will introduce adverts into what you're watching. So forget the ads that are coming on ITV or Sky or whatever else it is. The television set will interrupt. Maybe your DVD you're playing, maybe you're paying a lot of money for a movie subscription channel without adverts. Well, tough luck. Here's an advert. Because Samsung. Why would I ever allow that in my house?
Well, if they're... That makes no sense. I mean, why on earth would a TV manufacturer put advertising on... Hey?
Yeah, it's true, it's real, and it's happening now in the United States. Samsung makes money by selling adverts through your TV set. The television will pause whatever you're watching will play an ad. Now, apparently, if you dig down deep enough into the settings of these TV sets, you can find the bit that has some feature which apparently is useful, but also allows this, so you switch that off. But I'm very much a devices appliance kind of guy. I don't want to get a screwdriver to my TV set to shut the thing up. I understand that the TV business is really tough. And actually, I've been looking at Samsung TV sets. They are gorgeous. I could well buy one. But now, no. I will just go to somebody else until they start doing it as well. Did you not hear about this in the States? Adding Pepsi ads in the middle of DVD movies?
Oh, no, they certainly have been doing this for a while. There's been issues with Samsung Smart TV privacy policy and pop-up advertising since early last year. But also, this has been going on for a lot longer. LG's Smart TV has been reporting off viewing data information since 2013, and also brings up pop-up reminders for programs as well since then. But so those kind of make sense. But advertising, it's a bit weird.
It's weird and it's uncomfortable. I think it reminds me in a way. Well, no, actually, isn't Microsoft doing this as well? Now, I can't remember if they read it about Windows 10 PCs or the Surface tablets, but those Metro tiles or whatever have been, are, or are going to increase, I'm not sure which it is, include adverts for other software that you haven't got for it and things. Doesn't it? This comes back again, as I think we've said recently, to who owns your computer. Is it you, or is it Microsoft/Samsung? And I think Microsoft and Samsung have a slightly different view on this to us.
If you're worried about advertising on TV, why don't you just get a TV without smart functions?
I think that's increasingly hard to do, and I like the smart functions. But, no Samsung. There you go. That's easy. You can't see Apple doing this.
Well, actually, hang on. I just realised you need the smart TV functions.
In my very soul, or for some technical reason?
Well, it plays into an earlier story, actually. You can get Amazon Prime Instant Video through many smart TVs directly. For example, if you have a 4K TV with smart functionality, many of them have the app built in, and you can then stream 4K versions of certain Amazon shows through the TV itself. It's the same with Netflix as well. Certain programs are recorded in 4K, and you could stream them in 4K.
Well, I didn't know that. I've been telling people that nobody's broadcasting in 4K. I'm wrong. Fantastic. Except, presumably, I'd have to buy Amazon Prime. Okay, it's becoming more tempting. Let's expand this buyer's guide. Consider Amazon Prime. Don't consider Samsung TV. There you go. I think we've provided a service there. New feature to one more thing. Let's see if we can do something. Maybe next week. Windows 10. Yes, or are you kidding? We
Don't
can do
push it. Please don't push it.
Android. Yeah. Mophie. I know they do external batteries and recharges and things, but now they do wireless charging for iPhone. And actually, I don't get it. How does it wirelessly charge?
Some weird technological wizardry happens, and power gets transferred. Something involving Tesla's soul, I believe.
Okay, Tesla's soul, TM.
That's basically it. Many handsets have had wireless charging in various guises. Many flagship handsets on the Android side, certainly. But you've never had that on the iPhone. With wireless charging, at least the idea there is you can... When you get in from, let's say hypothetically, you go out for a night on the tiles, to the opera and then maybe to a trendy wine bar afterwards.
Followed by a nightclub, yeah.
Yes, one of the popular discotheques across the country. And what you do is you come home, you're stumbling, you're fiddling to try and get the key in the hole, and you open the door and you stumble in, you go to the side cabinet and you go, charge phone. And you get your phone out of your pocket, you put it on the side, and you jab at the power section multiple times to put it in. Whereas with wireless charging, what you do is you get your phone out, you make sure it goes onto the charging base, and that's it. There's no inserting anything into anything else with regards to the phone case and the stand. You just plonk it on there, and it starts charging.
Well, this is the story of my every weekday night, but there's one thing I don't understand, Inspector. I have a case on my iPhone now. I have the Apple Smart case, which I don't think it quite doubles the battery power, but it gets me through far more than a day. Am I carrying a case around with Mophie that only adds wireless junkie, or is there any battery power in it at all?
Oh, no, it's a battery case. It still has a battery in there, but it has a little bit extra in there that does the wireless charging as well. The really good thing is with what Mophie's chosen, they've gone with the technology that powers a stand, which is Key, or QI, or however you want to call it.
That makes sense to me now. My thing with this was, would I be giving up charge in order to get this? I don't really care. Even in my drunken stupor, I'm able to plug in a lightning cable most of the time. So, but it makes more sense.
Right, to be fair, you are, compared to the other juice pack cases, it is certainly smaller in each case. The battery has to be shrunk a tiny amount in terms of capacity in order to get the hardware in there, but really not much.
I have a thing with this smart battery case that I think it's quite ugly, and actually I still have problems. If I'm wearing a jumper and I try to put it in my top shirt pocket, I have trouble getting it in there, and then I have trouble getting it out again. And in the summer, when I'm obviously not wearing a jumper, I walk around and I have what's quite a big chunky thing that feels like it's going to fall out at any time. It is in every possible way an ugly piece of work, except the fact that at 9 o'clock at night my iPhone will still be saying 100% battery power. It is irresistible, except it works on the iPhone 6 that I've got and the iPhone 6S. What are the odds the iPhone 7, whenever that comes out, will fit the same thing? So, since I would quite like an iPhone 7, being an iPhone kind of guy, does that mean I've got a budget for an iPhone 7 and another 80 quid battery case to go with it? I'm conflicted, I have to say.
Was that a really wonderful attempt at a segue there?
No, it was a first world problem. That seems too much. A first word niggle, really? Yes. Oh, woe is me. I may have to spend money that I don't have to spend for it. But I know why you're saying segue, because you know something else is on my mind. The absolute certain fact that Apple is going to move the iPhone away from its one on, one S version the next year, so a 2-year cycle, into a 3-year cycle. And the absolute proof and evidence for this is that Intel has said they're doing this. And I very much like the fact that on MacNN.com right now there's a piece by Charles Martin, the editor, that, while mocking many other things, does quite reasonably point out Intel has nothing to do with the iPhone.
I think the biggest problem is choosing what the letter would be.
The letter?
So if it's not going to be a number or a number and an S, what's it going to be? Are they going to, if the next one is going to be that tick-tock-tock that is apparently rumoured, we've had the 6, we've had 6S, what's the next one's going to be?
Tick-tock, ticky, tick thing being Intel's term for this. Maybe Apple should do a Google and have a public vote for whatever the next name should be. That sounds like Apple, doesn't it?
Maybe the T. Because I don't know what the S stands for. I'm guessing it means special or second. So T would certainly count as third, or turbo. Maybe that, I don't know.
And that's an important thing, because doesn't Apple have something like 20 designers? They're overstretched. They should take a telling from Samsung's thousands and thousands of designers who pore over their photocopiers and get out their rulers to measure the new...
Whoa. Soapbox, come off the soapbox.
No, I don't think I will, actually. Soapbox / hobby horse. I tell you what, you talk about your thingy of the week while I just mutter quietly about Samsung and TVs and things like that. How's that?
Okay. My thingy of the week is going to be really stupid. You sure?
Excellent. Oh, I love it when it's stupid. Yeah,
right.
Give me.
Okay. As you may know, I'm not entirely a svelte human being. And since we're now entering the summer, and I make my living in a room full of computer equipment and sweating my backside off in here, just from the thermal output of everything in here. And I can't open the window that much because cats. It's a bit warm in here. And the local shops around here finally brought out something that I have been waiting to come out to middle of nowhere where I live for quite some time. Ice in a bag.
Okay. Actually, I always thought of that as a very American thing. You see it in US sitcoms and films, people buying this, and I could never work out why. But we have, for actually since coming back from America, got into ice in the drinks. And I've noticed local supermarkets are doing this. It does seem a very cost-effective job. Water plus time.
Well, to be fair to them, if you look at it, it's fairly expensive compared to making ice yourself. I mean, granted, you got to buy the ice trays and put them into the freezer and all that. So on the one hand, it's very lazy. It's a shortcut to getting ice immediately while you're waiting for said trays to freeze over, and it's relatively expensive. But last year, I was able to get them at the nearest town. So what I could do was, if I was getting ice creams for the entire family, I could get the ice creams and then I can get a sacrificial bag of ice to put on top of them so that on the car journey home, they are still completely frozen and I may have some left over. But the local shops around here haven't been doing that. Someone actually selling bags of ice, and I am actually kind of happy.
I love the idea of sacrificial ice. How much does ice in a bag cost?
About £1.
For how many ice cubes?
I don't know. I haven't counted them, but a considerable amount. I'd say maybe about a litre or a litre and a half, maybe 2 litres worth of ice.
I'm right that they're in cubes, am I?
They're in cylindrical type shape things.
Oh, really? Oh, my lights, that brings me back. One of my first jobs when it was still in school was working in a pub, and they had an ice making machine in the basement. And the job, every hour or two, you'd go down and get a bucket full of the stuff. And they were producing like large cylindrical pellet things. And it would be so hot and such a long way that I would pop one in my mouth by the machine. And by the time I'd got up to the bar, again, it would have melted away. And I can taste how good that was. Whoa. Oh, well, thank you for that.
Let me bring this back to your childhood.
Okay. My childhood when I gambled a lot in Vegas.
Yeah, let's go with that.
My childhood, actually, and I really didn't know you were going to go for this. I love the fact that we are on a technical podcast and we're both going for really technical things of the week. There are so many technology things, so many apps this week, but I can't do it. My thing of the week is something also related to my childhood. In fact, in those same bars I would work. I used to work Thursday nights, and I'd be dead at school on Friday, but I'd work late on Friday nights. I would set a VHS player to record Lou Grant, and I would watch it when I get home. In fact, behind me in this office now, I have a filing cabinet with about 30, maybe 40 VHS cassettes of Lou Grant recorded 35 years ago or something, and actually no way to play it. But now, this week, no reason to try to salvage them at all because Lou Grant is finally out on DVD.
What do you want me to do? Take a typing test? I mean, you know what I can do. Are you going to tell me that you have any doubts at all that somebody with my experience can't hold down a job in your city room?
Lou, the job is city editor.
It's a forgotten show now in so many ways. I love the fact that now the DVD is out, people are talking about it again. That's great. Malcolm, go get us a cold one. I'll pop on season 1, episode 5, by the way. Absolutely a jam. You'll love it. You ready for that?
Do I have to be ready?
No, you can just accept it as an exciting adventure. Okay, we'll talk about this next time when I'm through the first season and waiting for the second, which is due out in August. Good talking to you. Thank you for the explanation on the Mophie stuff. That makes sense now. And goodbye.
Goodbye.